Friends, I'd like to share with you various keys, which I do, rituals, I guess you could say, preparing myself to putting me into a space to do a reading for somebody, do a psychic intuitive reading. A psychic intuitive reading, of course, is different than a mediumship reading. So I want to share with you these keys and these rituals, which I do, which I think will help you to have a new understanding and a new awareness how you can begin to set up your space, create this sacred space, and really open up your mind and your energetic system in order to begin to be receptive to impressions for you to receive for the person you're reading. So let's just pretend or decide that this is a room I'm going to use today for my client to do a reading. This is my reading room. We'll call it that. This is my reading room. And I know that in my mind that I've set aside this room to do the work of intuition. That I will really, this will be the room. I want you to have that mindset. I want you to, whether you can place a room, aside a room that can really be reserved for your intuition work, your psychic work, I think that's really great because the power can build up in that room. The power of the intuitive self, of the receptivity, the spirit world can use that, the energy in that room. They can change the atmosphere so you can become more receptive in that room. I do think that the power does build the more you use a certain room. I also tend to use the same chair. I don't change my chairs around. I use it because the energy and the power seems to stay there with it. I get really strange in my own way. I tend to use the same glass that I drink with water. I always tend to have a pad with me, and I'm a real pen person. So I like to have the same specific pen. Now, this is very interesting, these different rituals, but it's important because, again, it sets your mind up. So I know if I enter this room here, this is going to be reserved for my reading, my psychic reading. Now, as I know that I'm very aware of that, I will sit in that room probably an hour before the event happens, before the reading happens, before the client comes in. And as I sit in that room and close my eyes, I then become aware with my mind, because I think it's very important when you close your eyes, your awareness opens up in many levels, that you are indeed setting your intention for this room. I'm setting my intention that this room will be just used for psychic work, for intuitive work. That is all I'm using this room for. And I will set my intention with a prayer, with a thought that I want the highest of good from myself and the client that I'm reading, that they may receive the highest good for themselves, the knowledge that they need to understand themselves, to make the right choices in their lives, whatever is shown to me that I may give them. So I'll do that an hour before a reading. I'll sit here and do that. And I also, in the room, create the energy of joy, of love. Many times I'll bring flowers into the room. I will definitely light incense and have music playing before the event, before the session, because I think it's important to really change the atmosphere in the room to bring it up to a certain level of receptivity.